One Call That's All Studios at the Avenue. Alongside Greg Scalzo, Alex Strofe, and Kyle Wallace, here's Good Karma Brand's founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
And good morning and welcome to it. It is an old school edition of Sunday Karma. Kyle, I'm trying to think. Were you and I together, just the two of us, before it was called Sunday Karma? Or is that when it transitioned to being called Sunday Karma?
I see. The age is getting to that memory there, Craig.
I'm saying, I know you were producing.
I was part of the football show.
No, you were producing when it was the football show.
Yeah.
But was it still called the football show when you, like...
So I believe when I originally became like the co-host when Chewy went off to Bigger and Better Things Daily Show, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. At that time, just Gabe and Chewy. I believe there was a little bit of a transition period where it was still the football show, and then it transitioned into Sunday Karma.
Yeah, you believe.
Yeah, I can go back through
emails.
No,
I'm just saying.
I still have emails.
No,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I remember they were talking
I'm just
about
saying that you were accusing me of it being age, and now you're saying you believe. I'm just saying you're just throwing that.
I got to save some little room just in case my memory doesn't serve me right. I mean.
But you were just throwing around that age thing.
I could be aging a little bit faster mentally. I feel confident, but I had to go through my emails that I have because, I have a lot of my emails.
No need to do that. No one cares. But what we do care about is that it is absolutely one of the wildest times of the year in all of sports. We had... obviously, we're going to talk about the Badgers. That was the story of the week in Wisconsin sports. We could all be excited about the Bucks win over the Phoenix Suns last night, which I know
that was nice. I saw the ending of it.
I know we were all watching last night, but we, if we're going to be honest, we have to say that the Badger game was the thing of the week. Although I was there in person. Watching your guys yesterday, watching your Dukes bring home a win. Kyle Wallace, Whitefish Bay alum, both women, boys and girls, state champions.
That's 5 state championships in the last calendar year.
Swimming and diving.
Yes, sir, boys and girls. Go ahead, keep saying it.
Soccer.
Boys soccer last spring, yes, sir.
So it was swimming, boys swimming and diving, girls swimming and diving, boys soccer, and then girls basketball in Green Bay last week, and then boys basketball last night in Madison. They win in convincing fashion over Slinger.
Conference foe.
Who had beaten them twice throughout the year, who has, I believe, a Badger commit. And so congratulations to Whitefish Bay. Congratulations to Milwaukee Juno.
Yeah, Dooney Johnson and father-son duo.
Dooney, I literally watched like 3 possessions of that game. And I was like, I got to look up who this dude is.
He different.
There's no way he's like just some regular high school player. Now, I would have liked to have seen him play in that Division I game because that kid could play. So he's going to Gonzaga.
Yes, he is.
But he is a junior still. So he's a class of 2027 commit from Milwaukee to Gonzaga who passed up both Marquette and Wisconsin to join the Zags. His dad, and he's had the relationship with Jalen Suggs, I learned about. So then Division I, you got Wisco rolling over Madison Memorial.
Wisco's a juggernaut.
But that was a 1-possession game in the second half before it got opened up. Memorial just shooting the lights out of the ball. They couldn't get enough shots up with all the turnovers. But really shot well. Had like 9 field goal attempts, I think, in the first half, something crazy like that. And it wasn't like they were completely slowing it down. Just had 6 turnovers and looking for good shots, but really impressive display. And, one of the great things of the year is Wisconsin State high school basketball, and having that tournament in Madison's really special. We've been working with them at ESPN Madison for decades now, it feels like, and really an incredible week and March of basketball in Wisconsin. But as I said, it's hard to not come back to the Badgers, and what a crushing defeat it is. And I am going to be saying when the bracket comes out next year that the last 2 years, I felt like the Badgers were built to make a run in March, and they haven't. And I know it sounds like a Homer-ish, and I'm not saying Homer like Steve the Homer True, like a Homer take to say, the Badgers got bad matchups because you have to beat the teams you're playing, and there aren't 12 seeds winning in the tournament, and the 12 seed beat the Badgers. But I look at the last 2 years, and I look at the Badgers as a team that were set up to make a run, that did have the right veterans, that did have the right makeup. And watching High Point, play basically a one-possession game against Arkansas, I do think there was something bad about the matchup the Badgers got again. It's not an excuse, and it's not, but it was a bad matchup. It was a very tough team. It was an underseeded team based on how good they clearly were. But the Badgers and Greg Gard lose, and to me, it takes nothing away from what that team accomplished throughout the year. I mean, the Big Ten is too tough of a conference. They won too many, really challenging games against elite teams for me to be like, oh, yeah, the whole season doesn't matter. That's just, to me, that's dumb.
Yeah, I would say that the problem why the season really almost doesn't matter, I'm not going to say completely doesn't matter, but you don't know what the team's going to look like next year. And so in the olden days where you're able to look at, oh, my gosh, Nolan Winter and John Blackwell, they may be coming back. And you can look at the pieces that are coming back. Now you don't have the young pieces that are developing that you can depend on, because if, there might be one that they could depend on, the freshman guy from overseas. But other than that, you don't know who's all coming back. And that's the biggest issue for the Badgers, is that in 2014, when they lost in the Final Four, you said, well, we still get Frank the Tank back. Sam Decker's going to be a year older.
We're gonna be missing Ben Bruss, so we're in trouble.
But so I just felt that now you don't know what you're going to get next year. So
that's like
you're
saying
not building anything,
right? But to me, so you're basically saying Greg Gard is not in Matt Arnold territory for you. He's not in the Pat Murphy, because when the Brewers lost, it's crushing, and it's it's awful and all that. But it's hey, we know the team's going to look different next year, but we trust this front office. And to me, that's where Greg Gard has gotten the last few years, where it's okay, I know I'm not going to know who a few of these guys are, but Greg Gard has figured it out, how to make this team an elite Big Ten team, which I think is fair to say based on how they played in the conference this year, right? I think I called them 15-5, even if they were 14-6, because that Indiana game, they went out in the tournament, represented well, played Michigan in a one-possession game after beating them on their court this year. So to me, and I'd love to hear what people think, on the Carbless talking text line. Shoot us a call right now. I'd love to hear your voice. Or you could text us, 800-990-ESPN. It's 800-990-3776. It is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Less is more. Carbless handcrafted premium cocktails. Yeah, I would love to just hear what people think coming off this Badger season. Obviously, there's pain on Thursday, and it's they're out. They're out before this tournament even starts.
Started. It was too early. It was too early. It ruined from Thursday. It was ruined.
Yeah,
I
know.
Saturday, I didn't watch. I barely watched any college basketball on Friday because I couldn't. Yesterday I watched college basketball, but I couldn't do it on Friday. I couldn't. It stung too much and it hurt. But I cannot say your comp in comparison to the Brewers is so far off, Craig. It's not the same. the Badgers and the Brewers in the sense of the Brewers have players that are under control for multiple years. And they gave the big signing to Jackson Chourio, so we knew he was going to be locked in for a long time through his 20s being a Milwaukee Brewer. So, yes, we knew Freddie Peralta might be gone, but we still knew that we were going to get a lot of our guys back on this roster the following season. Jacob Mizorowski.
I get what you're saying,
so
but I get what you're saying. Let's hit that talking text line. Jeff says, read yesterday the top 20 teams seeded in the tournament went 19-1. Guess which team is the one that lost?
Come on.
And that is true. Chef Ed says, I've been listening from the beginning. The football show became Sunday Karma at the start of 2024.
That's
not.
Ed
No, that's a little off.
Chef Ed, you a little.
Donnie in DeForest says, rumor has it Blackwell is going to Duke for $4 million a year. If so, Duke is way overpaying. Jeff in the 920 says, you can say what you want, but the Badgers have choked in the last 5 to 6 trips in the tournament, and that's on the head coach. What I would say is I felt the Badgers were going to be really good in this tournament because I watched how poised they were down the stretch of close games, especially games on the road. And I thought the last few possessions of that game against High Point, you could see they did tense up. They did. I'm not going to use the word choke, but they did not execute the way they should. Like, kind of jumping in the lane, trying to get fouled. Like those weren't good possessions, right? Like it wasn't the team that, as I would have said, was so battle tested from the Big Ten that they were ready for a close game, right? Like the Badgers weren't going to see anything in the tournament that they hadn't seen throughout this regular season and Big Ten season. And for some reason,
they choked.
It wasn't there.
They tightened up.
And you're talking about a guy who had been to the Final Four, right? As maybe the best player on this team, right?
Yeah.
When he was with FAU, right? Like
he couldn't finish easy bunnies around the rim.
I'm saying, so that's what threw me off so much, and that's what I didn't expect at all, because this team did have that experience, and because this team, even if they didn't have it together, some of that experience, did have their paths that took him here, and because I did trust in Greg Gard.
But why did you trust Greg Gard? And again, I did too. But I want to know, why did you trust Greg Gard? What about Greg Gard in the NCAA tournament made you believe that you should trust him?
You're saying Greg Gard in the NCAA.
What do you mean?
Greg Gard is a basketball coach, and I watched Greg Gard coach all these games.
Yeah.
And
what about in the NCAA tournament, Craig?
Again, like we can arbitrarily say that, and I know after the fact the numbers would back that out. But you're telling me
before the fact the numbers.
I know. But you're telling me it's harder to coach against High Point than it is against Michigan at Michigan?
No, what I'm saying.
I'm saying, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
No. What I'm saying is clearly there's something. And again, I'm not I don't know enough about the X's and O's and watching every little possession and what the adjustments being made and what guys are or aren't doing. But what I can say is that there's been a consistent pattern for Greg Gard since 2017 that his teams have not been able to get to the second weekend. Now, we can make the argument, he did make it back in 2016, 2017 when he had the players and recruits from Bo Ryan, pre-NIL. Yes, that's true. And so there was probably some gutsiness and some moxie. But what he was able to do with that team when Bo Ryan stepped down was absolutely incredible. He took them and he led them to the tournament and got to the Sweet 16. And so, but when we look at it, though, Craig, is that you can say that you kind of, you don't want to blame Greg Gard, but Greg Gard has not been able to get out of the first weekend in almost a decade.
And again,
that is not good.
Yes, by the way,
that's not up to the standard.
Agreed. Well, okay.
Wait, you don't believe the standard is getting to the Sweet 16 because you know and I know when Bo Ryan was here, we got to the Sweet 16 a lot. We didn't go 8 years without getting to a Sweet 16.
There was a nice run of Sweet 16, but I'm also remembering a guy named Paul Christ who, like, everyone was really quick to jump down and say, "Oh, we could do so much better." And
we thought we probably could have.
And then see what happens. So what I'm just saying is that Greg Gard is a great basketball coach, and Greg Gard put this team into the situation where he has the 5 seed. And Greg Gard before the University of Wisconsin maybe even completely figured out their NIL, right? If they're saying, "Oh, we're figuring out our NIL for football," well, somehow Greg Gard figured it out for basketball. Before football figured it out. I'm saying before we talk about all the things that Greg Gard is not, let's just at least talk about the things that Greg Gard is.
Okay.
To be able to be that 5 seed, to be able to be that team that's scoring 80 points a game, to be able to be that great free throw shooting team that didn't have the turnovers.
I think we're, first and foremost, it's not like he took over some Little Sisters of the
By the way, Troy says NIL money is destroying college sports.
I agree.
I actually think it's like the best college basketball I've seen in a long time. It is fun to watch, but I don't know that I've seen college basketball be this good.
My level of attachment to the players is so different.
I agree with that.
Watching the development, especially at the Wisconsin programs that we had, and basketball and football development was the key to success. And so, but for me,
that's going to be high school until NIL destroys high school, and then it'll be junior high.
And so, my issue I have is, Craig, is that you're making excuses for why we should be applauding Greg Gard to doing what the expectation is. When I was watching the Vanderbilt game yesterday. The coach of Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt came out of nowhere, right? A couple years ago.
Football and basketball.
Exactly. And I don't know how much money was pumped into it, but
But like $1 billion with their facilities and everything.
But when they got Diego, the quarterback from Vanderbilt, I don't think they didn't pay him a whole bunch of money right away, right? They were able to identify and find success and then earn more money, just like Indiana was able to identify, find success, and earn more money.
They were doing the biggest facilities and the biggest investment, one of the biggest investments in college football history.
But what I'm saying is, I don't know how much money they spent in football initially, but I feel like they won and they had a proof of concept. And so all I'm saying is this: is when I look at Greg Gard, and I think about the fact that Vandy was able to hire the coach from James Madison 2 years ago. And they found themselves in the second weekend and almost going to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2017. So I mean, that's why I'm just saying
they weren't in the second weekend.
No, I said they almost found themselves, and they haven't been since 2007. And now within 2 years of this guy taking over at James Madison, they found themselves almost in the Sweet 16. And so all I'm saying is this: is that,
by the way, Vandy United was a $300 million expansion of their athletic facilities.
How much is our expansion?
Wisconsin get $300 million.
I guess my biggest, I don't know how much.
I'm saying the money that's down there. Wisconsin has not been able to fundraise at that level.
No, but what I'm saying is that from my understanding is Diego Pavia, I think his last name was. He wasn't like some five-star quarterback that was going to cost him $1 million when they got him from a JUCO. They were able to identify, find success, and once you find success, you get people excited, and the money starts coming in. And so that's all I'm saying with that, Craig.
And what I'm saying
I don't want to fire Greg Gard. I don't. Right. But I want Greg Gard to be better at putting a full team together that can compete in the tournament.
I'm saying Tony Bennett lost in the first round, 116. Right. It's never happened in the history of college basketball. And Tony Bennett's a great basketball coach. And then the next year he won the national championship. That's the beauty of the tournament. I would say that NIL and the way the teams are has made it more predictable. Like, there aren't the upsets, right, that we're used to seeing. Sure, we saw some 11s, but like, is Texas really, Texas probably has as big a salary cap as anybody, right? Like the teams that are winning, there aren't a lot of these. And the Badgers, again, I can't argue with the fact that High Point, of all of those 1s, 2s, and 3s, and 4s, right, and 5s, those top 20 teams, there's only one of them that lost, and it was Wisconsin. So that's not something I can argue with. I'm just saying Greg Gard is a great basketball coach. Greg Gard has figured out an equation similar to the Brewers that seems to be competitive year in and year out. And when you are that good, as they were in the Big Ten, there will be times where you end up going on a run. The Badgers just did not have it the last few years, including this year, which is very disappointing.
Before we go to break, Craig, I did a little quick research. And so, yes, we changed over. We were changed into the football show in 2020.
2020?
So I see an email from December 20th, 2019. In 2020, we are changing Sunday football show with Craig Karmazin to Sunday Karma.
Yep. And is that when you and
I took over in 2018 because Chewy, they started that show, I want to say, in 2019.
Yep. All right. So 2019. So then you took over as a host fully in 2019. And then at the end of 2019, so at the end of that year that you had taken over, we segued from the football show to Sunday Karma, which will continue after this. Jason Wilde coming up soon. Lots to talk about with the Badgers. Lots to talk about Wisconsin high school basketball. The Bucks with a win. I'm heading out west. I'm going to see your Milwaukee Bucks.
All right.
Tomorrow night.
What a gutty performance yesterday.
Tomorrow night in L.A., Wednesday night in Portland. We'll talk about them a little bit. Sure, we'll talk about your Packers. And look what I'm wearing today. Oh,
yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
I got to get back from Portland because it's opening week. Is that possible?
It's crazy.
Am I really going to a Brewers game on Thursday?
And I think we have a TV station too, don't we?
I mean, if what does that mean?
Did they? I saw on social media that they may have identified the channel they're going to be on.
Oh, the Brewers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Good Karma did. I was like, wait, I thought I would have known that if we had bought some TV station or something.
No, siree. No, siree.
Wait, but Kyle, that means if the Brewers season starts Thursday, then that means you're probably only like 3 or 4 months away from going to your first game. So that's exciting. We'll talk about it all as we roll on. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Ben Brust here, and let's cut the crap. I've been sold a lie with sportswear, too. You pay a fortune for big-name gear, a fancy logo, a slogan, and it still stinks. Iron Jock doesn't play that game. Silver ion technology is woven into every thread, killing 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria. And now, through March 22nd, our listeners can get 40% off all Iron Jock hoodies with the code HOODIE40. That's HOODIE 40. Shop now at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction. It's one of life's biggest decisions.
That's why clarity, trust, and the right guidance matter, especially in an ever-changing market.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
I'm John Lorenz.
And I'm Taylor Mangini. Our team delivers a white glove experience at every price point, combining expert negotiation, local insight, and genuine care.
Get started today with a team you can trust at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs, on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? That's why I love my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. You can check them out in person at the State Fair Park Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, and even ask questions. Good Health Saunas has been doing this for more than 20 years, and they back it all with a true lifetime warranty, which was huge for me. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, find Good Health Saunas at State Fair Park, March 20th through the 29th.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Homer here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I've been on the journey since January and I've already lost 20 pounds, 10 to go by the end of March. If you're looking for a safe and easy program, it's actually easy. They'll actually help you keep the weight off. This is it. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. And for a limited time, $200 off with the spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
From office lunches to family celebrations, Cousin Subs has the crowd-pleasing catering you need. Choose from customizable party boxes, individual box lunches, fresh-baked cookies, and our classic party chips. Everything you need to satisfy any size group, big or small. Ordering is easy online or on the Cousins app, so you can focus on the fun, not the food. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video. Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Quick shout out to Gary Trent, who led the Bucks in plus-minus yesterday, was on the court, hit some big shots at the end of the game. I just think what a great example for all of us. You know, you could say for kids, but I'd say for everyone, right? Guy who was a starter, guy who was scoring 30 points in playoff games last year.
What happened? Why did he not?
Guy who was out of the rotation, for the Bucks, not even playing, literally not getting on the court in games from being a starter and all that. And every single night when I'd be leaving the arena, who I'd be seeing going onto the court?
Taking shots?
Gary Trent. Working out after the game. And, it's that work ethic and that focus that gets repaid as the Bucks win, again, a meaningless game last night, when it comes to a lot of what we're used to caring about. But every game matters. Every effort matters. And impressive to see Gary Trent a part of that victory yesterday. I mentioned I'm heading out to L.A., going to check out the Clippers and Blazers game. I think it's important to see how people act when there is adversity, and I'm excited to be around the team the next few days and see what's going on with the Bucks.
All right. So Gary Trent got hurt earlier during the season, and then he kind of fell off the rotation. Is that I was confused about that, why he wasn't playing.
Yeah, you look at his productivity; it wasn't where it had.
Let players like that try to figure it out because of what they can potentially be for you.
Yeah, but the Bucks it's the NBA, right? It's the next man up. It's not like while that was happening, like game in, game out, you're like, oh, this guy can't play or that guy can't play. Like, it's the NBA. Everybody can play. And so, you got to find someone who's going to produce. And it was great to see Gary Trent jump in and produce. It was great to see Venezuela with their 3-2 victory over the U.S. in the finals of the World Baseball Classic. Just an incredible event. Those games in Miami, absolutely electric as the U.S. defeated the Dominican Republic and defeated Venezuela, and then Venezuela defeated them at the end. If you looked at the outfield, all the ads were for Japanese businesses. So I think
they expected themselves to be in the.
I was gonna say I think that there were some disappointed advertisers, which I'm always looking at when I'm looking at things. But I was rooting for Venezuela in the finals.
What?
Yeah.
Why aren't you rooting for America?
Just certain games when you start to watch, or when you're like, wow, I'm not rooting for who I thought I was going to root for.
I'll say this.
I'm saying so Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, to me, had so much fun and cared so much. And as I watched the U.S. team, I was like, all right, if they win, they'll be cool with it. If Venezuela wins, the kids don't have school tomorrow. That changes their lives, what the country's going through. They obviously just had a change in their leadership.
You know what they should have did? You know what I said on air?
All that stuff going on. To me, it just meant more. And to give something positive to a nation like that obviously I think all of our eyes are on to some degree. I was like, if the U.S. won it, all right, we might be happy for 5 minutes. Would we even remember? I just... To me, it was a great thing for that nation.
You know what they should have did? What I said was, before the game, Venezuela versus USA. Winner not only wins the WBC, but winner also gets to decide the fate of Nicolas Maduro.
But I don't know that Venezuela. I'm saying
it doesn't. Good or bad.
Oh,
good
okay.
Or bad.
Oh, okay.
I said they get to decide the fate. That's what I don't know what they know, how they feel about them, but they get to decide.
But when you're saying they, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying.
There's some more complicated things there of who exactly. The players
get to decide.
Oh, the players
the
decide.
Players get to decide what they want to do with O'Neal. But
the manager decides.
I bet you think Nicholas was watching it from his prison? Do you think they let him have the TV access to watch it?
I don't know. I don't know. I assume he was rooting for Venezuela, but I don't know.
What do you assume he was rooting for Venezuela?
I don't know.
Of course he was. He's a Venezuelan.
I don't know how he feels about what's going on right now.
Then again, you're as American as they come, and you were cheering for Venezuela.
I do. They needed it more. Sometimes the other squad just needs it more.
Yeah, the WBC World Classic is going to allow for them to all of a sudden be a thriving economy and country. They just needed that moment to be
things like
happy.
that. You don't understand what that means. Because it doesn't mean a lot to us.
Baby. America.
Right.
This is another day, another loss. We'll be back. But it is what I love, Craig, is that I hope baseball, right? I hope they understand that the amount of energy and excitement and passion that was played with during the WBC and how fans were buying into it, this can be the occurrence if you're okay with people celebrating. If you get rid of the unwritten rules. When Bryce Harper hit that home run and tossed that bat, everybody who was a baseball fan cheering for USA loved it. We absolutely loved that moment because Bryce Harper lived up to it, and it was something good for us. So I personally think that baseball should change these unwritten rules, and let's celebrate. Let's get hype. After home runs, everybody come out and celebrate because for me, that's entertainment. When you're going
but
back
is it real, though? It seems like over 162 games, it'd be a little fake.
Maybe in the big moments.
Even when the U.S. was doing it, sometimes I felt like they were like doing imitations of the Dominican Republic. I don't know if they even
fun.
Yeah. All right, we got Will D coming up next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-581-1414. That's 800-581-1414. 800-581-1414.
The biggest day in baseball is back. Opening day returns to American Family Field on Thursday, March 26th at 1:10 p.m. when the Brewers take on the White Sox. Celebrate the return of ballpark dogs, famous racing sausages, tailgate days, and your favorite Milwaukee Brewers in action once again. This isn't just any game, it's opening day. Enjoy live music, a Brewers drum line, and more special events throughout the day. Get your tickets for opening day at American Family Field now at brewers.com/opening day.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. March is that time of year when a lot of us are thinking about fresh starts and maybe even getting a tax refund. And instead of spending that money on something temporary, what if you invested it in something that improves your home for decades? Universal Windows Direct makes that decision easy. Right now, when you buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. The more you upgrade, the more you save. Plus, you'll get 24 months with no payments and no interest. Call 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free estimate today.
A very hearty hello to you good people out there. I'm Ruth from Hurricane Bank. I suppose you thought I was in Downpatrick in County Down, but I'm right here in the Mayfair Collection branch of Hurricane Bank. Did you know that Hurricane Bank has been serving people like your good selves for 130 years? So they're good at it. Come on in to any of our 20 branches and see for yourselves.
Member FDIC. You've always been competitive. At work, in the gym, even with your kids. But lately you feel off. Workouts take longer to recover from. Your drive just isn't there. You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back the energy to being dad again. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
Kyle Broston Nortman, KBN.
It is okay for us to say Jordan Love is successfully following in the footsteps of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. That is a guy that I want.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It is time to go to the Yuengling hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America, now officially in Wisconsin. DJ Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly, where we welcome in Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
I feel like I saw you in the cafe here in Milwaukee, as I was running somewhere, and then I never saw you again. Is that true? Was that in fact you?
That was me. Yeah, we had a lunch meeting with Walney Legal Group, one of our new partners, and then we watched a little bit of basketball at the 3rd Street Market Hall. Ran into our partners from Steinhoffels, and it was great. It was fun to be down there and see teammates and partners and watch a tiny little bit of basketball before I had to head back. And but yes, I saw you. You were with someone. You were engaged in what appeared to be a serious conversation.
Oh yes, it's all very serious. So Jason, speaking of serious, Kyle said
it wasn't about me.
Kyle said you have all sorts of beefs going on, about who the Packers are making.
Whoa, you weren't supposed to say I said he had beef.
Oh, I thought that's what he said.
I said he was disappointed. Jason doesn't have beef. I think Jason's a vegetarian.
Yeah, so
irritated.
let's help you out here. What's going on? What are these frustrations and irritations?
Oh, I haven't talked to anybody. I'm a big
anybody you're saying Goody and Matt LaFleur.
Jonathan Gannon was hired on January 28th, and he hasn't spoken to the local media. He hasn't spoken to anybody. I mean, I assume he's spoken to his fellow coaches. They announced the staff on Thursday, right around while the Badgers were losing their tournament game. Which I thought was good timing by them. Again, my issue is this, and obviously, the guys on KBN have heard me complain about this. I firmly believe that the Packers, if they want to play we're owned by the fans, we're owned by the community, then there's a higher standard of being engaged with your fans. And the fact that your defensive coordinator that you hired on January 28th has not spoken to the media. You know this about me, Craig. I take my responsibility as a conduit to the fans seriously, whether it's on our show or across all of our other shows or my written work or my TV work. And we now know that they're running a 3-4 as their base defense solely because they changed DeMarcus Covington's title. from defensive line coach to outside linebackers coach, which is what you do when you run a 3-4. And the fact that no one's discussed that, again, I don't want to be belly aching because nobody wants to listen to media members complain. But the reason why I complain is because it prevents us from informing our fans who I think deserve better.
And do you think fans care? Like, I would think they do, right? Like, they'd want to know what Jonathan Gannon's about. And, like, I feel like fans care, right?
Absolutely they do. They want information. They want insight. And, for me personally, I mean, I'm on all of our shows multiple times a week. I would like to be able to give them more insight than I've been able to deliver. And that irritates me. Like, the Packers, to me, should be held to a higher standard because they really love being able to say we're owned by the community, we're owned by the fans, but fans deserve better. And, this is...
And has there been an answer on why Jonathan Gannon, like, is there a reason why they haven't wanted him to talk?
I've inquired. I just don't think he wants to, probably. Jeff Hafley did a press conference about a week after he was hired 2 years ago. So it's not like this would be unprecedented to make him available.
Well, why don't you ask to have him on Wilde and Tausch?
I don't think that we've gotten a lot of guests lately from that perspective.
No, I know. I'm not saying you've gotten a lot, but have you asked to have him on? I mean, because I would think that Wilde and Tausch is kind of the show of record for Packers fans. So I would think.
You'd like to think so.
So has Jonathan Gannon refused to come on Wilde and Tausch?
No, but I figured that they would make him available to everyone first instead of just to us.
Well, let's not figure that. All right. So we got a plan. So you'll ask him to come on Wilde and Tausch, and then by next week we'll figure out if if he wants to talk to the fans.
That sounds like a great plan, Craig. Thank you.
Good. Kyle, look at that. See, we figured out all Wilde's issues. And then by next Sunday, we'll either have a happy Wilde or an unhappy Wilde.
Jason, if only it was that easy, huh?
Exactly. But again, I get it.
With Tausch, the power of Tausch's name and the power of Wilde, how would a new defensive coordinator, how would they ever say no to that opportunity to be able to talk to him?
Ask the new defensive coordinator. I think you would go.
What do you mean?
You're just going to DM him. I think for the Green Bay Packers, they would probably want that to go through them, especially since he's never spoken publicly.
But again, who knows if he's spoken publicly or not? We don't know.
Look at you. You're on the ground investigative journalist. You said we're going to get to the story how we get to it.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe he's talked to the Kiwanis Club. Maybe I don't know if he's talked publicly or not. Who knows what he's talked. I'm just saying that would be a great opportunity if you're a new defensive coordinator to be able to talk to Packers fans on Wilde and Tausch. So, and I think it's rude that we have not invited him. So if I'm the Packers, I would be miffed at us.
Got a point there,
right? Oh my God, this new guy's coming to town. He doesn't know anybody. And Jason Wilde, who's been covering the team for 3 decades now, and Mark Tauscher, who's legitimately in the Hall of Fame, has not even had the respect or the courtesy to invite him to join their show. So to me, I think we're probably to blame on this at this point, and we should definitely in the next 24 hours fix that, and I assume things will be better at that point.
Before you guys go, we actually today.
Before we go, where are we going?
No, not before we go. Before you continue on with the conversation. Sorry. Before we continue on with the conversation, you know what's crazy about you asking for this request? That sounds like a request that should be led by the producer. And guess who is back at ESPN Madison working hard on a Sunday and producing Sunday Karma? Jason, can you take one guess of who's coming on a Sunday to work?
I would be shocked to say this, but Jesse Nelson?
Jesse Nelson, are you there? Can you hear me, Jesse Nelson?
Oh, I'm here loud and clear, Kyle. What's up?
Did you hear what you're tasked to do tomorrow?
Sounds like Brian Anderson.
I know, right?
Yeah, I had a rough weekend. Yeah, we can reach out. We'll make it happen. Anything to make Jason happy.
So, Jesse, do you actually book the guests on Wilde and Tausch? How does that work?
No.
Rarely. I text Bulaga every week, and I'm like, hey, you good for your usual? And he likes the text, and that's pretty much our interaction.
So he gives a thumbs up, and that's your guest booking skills there?
Yeah, we're like, that's pretty much the most extensive work I do.
Now, who would have the best chance at getting the Packers to say yes to this request? Is it you, Jesse? Is it Wilde, or is it Tausch? Who do you think would be the best path to go on this?
I'm guessing it's not Wilde, so I'm thinking we're going to have to assign old T to get this one.
Wait, so you think Jason, who's there working in the building almost for every day for over half of his life, not even his adult life, you think that old T is going to have a better chance? Jason, what do you think about this?
I don't think that's probably true, but I would also add that both of us, and, well, maybe not Jesse, but Tausch and I have both put in repeated requests for Brian Gutekunst to join our show, and he has declined. So,
well, but Brian Gutekunst is in a very different situation than Jonathan Gannon, who's new to the community.
Is
he
really?
Oh, yeah. Jonathan Gannon, I'm sure, feels super insecure, and probably the reason he hasn't talked to the media is because he hasn't even been invited on Wilde and Tausch. And if he's not being accepted by you guys, I'm sure he's like, well, what am I going to do? Put myself out there for everyone when the show of record for Packers fans isn't even interested in having me on? I'm sure he's feeling very insecure right now.
He's going to be stuck with the B-side, KBN.
Yeah.
This is a fascinating perspective that is not, in my opinion, rooted in reality.
I think all Packers fans will be locked in Monday to Wilde and Tausch to find out what comes next as we see if Jonathan Gannon will, in fact, continue to be shunned by Jason and Mark, or if he will be invited as a guest into their home and be accepted by Packers fans in general, because you can't really be accepted by Packers fans if you're not first accepted by Jason and Mark. So, Jesse, why do you think Wilde and Tausch have not allowed Jonathan Gannon on the show to this point?
We like to wait for news to be official, and Jason kind of mentioned, there's kind of a formal process that we like to follow the rules on, but maybe we're too much rule followers.
No,
I mean, okay. We should break the norm a little bit.
All right, so you're just basically saying that you guys are too good for Jonathan Gannon. Okay, I get it, Jesse. I get what you're saying, Jesse. Jesse, you really did what were you celebrating?
Jesse's not used to working on Sunday.
Jesse didn't realize people actually worked on weekends. Jesse's like, wow, what's going on Sunday?
I worked both. Craig, I'll have you know I worked both days this weekend because we were calling state championship games at the Kohl Center yesterday afternoon. So I think
I like how you consider that work. I like how you consider that work. Calling a game at the Kohl Center in the state championship, that is the furthest thing from work I could imagine.
So I did 2 semifinals on Thursday. About the time semifinal 2 started, I thought, oh no, this throat's starting to not feel so good. Then I went and hung out with my buddies at a sports book all day on Friday for the NCAA Tournament, and we had a pretty good day, so we were celebrating that. Then got back to call the championship game yesterday, and by the time we got home
which game did you call last night?
Let's hit the Division III. Racine St. Catherine's with the big win yesterday.
Yep, what a day it was at States. As Milwaukee Juno, Racine St. Catherine's, Whitefish Bay, and then Wisconsin Lutheran, your 4 state champs yesterday there in Madison. All right, we'll have more with Jason Wilde. We'll see if there's anyone else he and Wilde and Tausch are shunning, but we'll also get into what's going on with the Green Bay Packers as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The Brew Crew are back on March 26th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they open up the season against the Chicago White Sox.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
Brewers opening day is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in March 26th at 1:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick. Your email said you had a big surprise. Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Evermore.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore. Just $998.
Or $14.98 with a 1-carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
When Milwaukee families need help, the United Way is there, reducing barriers to employment, providing transportation, safe and stable homes, and more for over 192,000 people.
And this month, CUNIS is proud to stand beside them. Hi, I'm Bill Eater with CUNIS of Milwaukee.
And I am Tony Avery with the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. During the CUNIS Drives Milwaukee 1000 event, they're donating $100 to the United Way for every vehicle sold.
Our goal this month is simple: 1,000 vehicles across 3 CUNIS Milwaukee dealerships.
For a $100,000 donation to the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County.
To help us reach our goal, you'll find incredible deals on all new and pre-owned vehicles at our 3 locations in Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall.
Be a part of driving Milwaukee forward at the CUNIS Drives Milwaukee 1000 event.
Start your search today at CUNISMKE.com. That's CUNISMKE.com.
Calling all seafood lovers, the lobster salad sub is officially back at Cousin Subs. Fresh lobster mixed with our creamy signature mayo, topped with tomato and onion, served over crisp lettuce and finished with a sprinkle of Old Bay. All on our fresh-baked Italian bread. It's a crave-worthy classic you can enjoy in store, online, or on the app, but only through April 5th. So catch it while you can. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? That's why I love my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. You can check them out in person at the State Fair Park Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, and even ask questions. Good Health Saunas has been doing this for more than 20 years, and they back it all with a true lifetime warranty, which was huge for me. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, find Good Health Saunas at State Fair Park, March 20th through the 29th.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Continuing with Jason Wilde, as we figured out the whole Jonathan Gannon situation last segment. What else? I guess there's some other things going on with the Packers coaching staff we should be thinking about.
Well, I think all those things had been reported long ago. So I don't think there's anything earth-shattering with it. But again, the one thing that I thought was really interesting was that they are going to switch to a 3-4. And to me, Goody tried to downplay the significance of that, basically saying, look, and this is true, in the NFL, they play 5 defensive backs a ton. They run sub-packages constantly. And so the base defense you run is not super important like it once was. Like when Dom Capers came to Green Bay and they installed the 3-4, that was a big deal.
That was a huge
significant change.
Dude, that was a huge – I still remember that. Like, that was like a seismic, thing for the Packers.
Yep. And you saw what they did in the first round, what Ted did in the first round of that 2009 draft after the change. He drafted Clay Matthews, who is the prototypical outside linebacker, and he drafted B.J. Raji, who is the prototypical nose tackle in a 3-4. And so, while you can say that it's not as important, and you'd be right, they're still going to be in their base defense, 15 to 20% of the snaps. And so it is a change. It does matter. It just doesn't matter as much as it mattered then. And so these are the types of things, all kidding aside.
So Jason, what about to Micah? What about to Micah Parsons? How does that change things?
I think that's one of the ways that Micah is a unicorn, is that it doesn't really change much for him, because he can, first of all, he's kind of got carte blanche to do whatever he wants in terms of, whether he stands up or he puts his hand on the ground. Like, that stuff really is not a major factor for him. For other guys, I always use the example of Aaron Campman when Dom Capers came to town. Aaron Campman was a 4-3 defensive end, and he was the proverbial fish out of water when Dom came. So he played the 2009 season and then became a free agent, went to Jacksonville. Like, there are certain players that it's an uncomfortable position to play. Now, I would also add that, when I look at where, say, Lucas Van Ness,
I was going to say your LVN double-digit sacks is not completely outside of the realm of possibilities in the 3-4. I feel like that becomes even less outside of the realm of possibilities, right?
Right, and in fairness to him, I think it's been, between his injuries that he's dealt with, and then the changes in systems now, I think it's been really tough for him. Like, the injuries especially have been problematic. And when I look at where he is in his development, this is an enormous year for him. And now he will have gone from a 3-4 with Joe Barry to a 4-3 with Jeff Hafley, and now back to a 3-4. And I don't know what is his best role and how this does work best for him. But the bottom line is that all that change on top of a broken thumb throughout the 2024 season, and then missing whatever he missed, 5-6 games with the broken foot or the foot injury last season. Like, I can't imagine that they're going to pick up the fifth-year option by the May 1st deadline, and he's going to be in a contract year when they don't. And so, whether or not he can flourish in Jonathan Gannon's scheme, like, I would also add this.
That's going to be a good question for you to ask Jonathan Gannon when you have him on Wildy and Tausch.
Yeah. And frankly, in fairness to Jonathan Gannon, he has had, a lot of success as a defensive coordinator. Those two Philly defenses that he coordinated were really good. Now, his head coaching record in Arizona, not as good.
Oh, I wouldn't lead with that, Jason, when you meet with him, when he comes on Wildy and Tausch. I would more lead with, how good a job he did in 2 years of helping transform that Eagles defense.
Mm-hmm. I was going to maybe do hey, do you regret doing the pew, pew, pew,
No,
pew,
don't do that. I mean, I think
that's a good tip.
I think asking him about what it'll be like to coach against Kyler Murray will be interesting. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'll save that toward the end too. But I think another example is the two guys that they have added that Goody has gone against type. There it is. The two guys that they've added that are non-Goody type additions, and those being Javon Hargrave and Zaire Franklin. Gannon has experience with both of them. He was with Franklin in Indianapolis, and then Hargrave's best seasons in the NFL were when he was in Philly with Gannon. So that's another thing I look forward to asking him when he's on the show. But the bottom line is that they've been a really good defense the last 2 years. They're making a semi-meaningful change in philosophy, but I do think that Jonathan Gannon is similar to Jeff Hafley in that he tailors what he does to the personnel he has, as opposed to some defensive coordinators who, yes, they tweak things here and there, but what they really view it as is this is what we run, and we need to either acquire guys that are going to fit what we run, or we're going to get guys to figure out how to play what we run, and we're a little more rigid in what we do.
Jason, real quick on the Badgers. I know we all like Greg Gard personally, and I also think so highly of him as a coach. What's your take on a team that's not doing what they should do in the tournament based on the regular season success they've had? And I think that is a very, very fair criticism when you look at top 5 seeds being 19-1 this year.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that there's criticism to be had. Now, I would say, I didn't think they got out-coached when I watched that game. They get the ball into the hand of their best player on the final 2 full-fledged possessions that they had. They did not rebound well, and they did not defend well. And if you watch the Badgers throughout the season, this is not the Badger teams you recall. They score a hell of a lot more points, but they also allow a hell of a lot more points. They were an inconsistent team defensively for most of the year, and so I wasn't exactly surprised that they struggled. And I assume Arkansas eventually won. I was at a volleyball tournament.
Yes, they did.
High Point, they gave the Razorbacks all they could handle for most of that game too. So, maybe that team was a little bit better than we thought, and we see 5-12 matchups. Generally, there's always one, and the Badgers, unfortunately, have been that one 3 times in a row now. But still, unacceptable. We all can agree on that. But I did not think they lost because their coaching was poor. I would say that this is a guy who has navigated the NIL transfer portal era better than a lot of coaches, and certainly better than a lot of coaches at his institution that coach other sports. But again, since 2017, they haven't been to a Sweet 16. Tausch had a great time down at the Big Ten tournament, and he was very high on the Badgers. And the first thing I said to him when he got back was, yeah, but if they don't make it to the second weekend, nobody's going to be sitting here talking about, boy, what did you think of the way the Badgers played in the Big Ten tournament last season?
I know, but
No
Jason, and to me, the way the Big Ten tournament went set up perfectly, right? Because it was almost better. It was almost better to not have to play extra games, but to show that you could compete with a 1 seed who you had already beaten on their home court. Like, I actually thought I was with Tausch. Like, I felt like that it all laid out to be perfect, and I think
I thought so too.
Obviously saying they could have beat Arkansas doesn't mean anything right now.
No, it doesn't. But I agree with you. I thought that things were aligned. Now they get to the Sweet 16 and they get beat by what have been Arizona. Yeah. I mean, then you're like, hey, okay, for what this team was, those, they kind of ended up where we kind of thought they would, if they gave Arizona a good fight. But instead, to lose the way they did, and it just felt like they were out of sorts throughout the course of that game, and they just never kind of really locked in. And again, I don't want to make excuses for a coach that I like. Like you said, the results were not good enough. We can all agree on that. But I think there's a lot of reasons why the results were what they were.
Yeah, and I'm just not a believer that wipes out an entire season when you're playing in a conference. When you're playing in a conference as good as the Big Ten, and when you played the way they played throughout the year. I get it, and we remember.
How does it help us for next year?
We remember the 2000 team, not for the miserable regular season stretch they had, but for the Final Four run that they had of winning those 4 games. So I get it,
right.
But to me, it doesn't make the whole season worthless like these last 2 years.
What does it mean for next year, though, Craig?
I mean, what it means for next year is if you tell me they're going to be a top 5 seed again next year, then I'm going to tell you Greg Gard's one of the best handful of coaches in the country. That's what it means to me. But it also means if they lose to a 12 seed again, something's wrong in Madison, right? Like,
this is the one that tells you something wrong. Not
no.
Madison.
I'm saying now it is when you lose it. But
now
I'm saying right now something's wrong that happened. But it doesn't mean to me that Greg Gard isn't one of the best handful of coaches in America.
If it happens again next year, we should expect it to happen. So that's my whole point, is that it's happened long enough now where we shouldn't be surprised.
But my point is, if Greg Gard leads this team to be a top 5 seed next year, then he is one of the best coaches in the country.
They were a top 5 seed last year. They got off the first round. Then lost to a 6 seed. And then lost to a 6 seed.
And my point is, he is one of the best coaches in the country.
But you're saying if this happens again next year, then there's a problem in Wisconsin.
I'm saying there is now, too. I'm saying that is a problem, but it doesn't change the fact that Greg Gard is one of the best coaches. So there is some gap and something missing. And again, maybe it is that they just happen to have played against the underseeded teams 3 years in a row or whatever. But like, it doesn't change to me how good of a basketball coach and how good of a program, I know there's supposedly I don't know. They don't have a general manager, right, for basketball. That's just for football.
They do have a guy though.
Yeah, but come on, Greg Gard's doing all of it, and Greg Gard's killing it.
He's doing a great job. I'm not taking. Hey, listen, I wanted to get rid of Greg Gard before the James Madison season, and I was proven wrong.
Yeah, he has adapted to the NIL world better, I believe, than anyone could have anticipated. And the arguments that he hasn't. To me, if you're saying that, you don't understand the resources that he's been given, because I think he has created as many resources as he's been given, and he's done an incredible job with it. All right, Jason Wilde, we appreciate it as always. Listen to Wilde and Tausch, who are expected to be joined by Jonathan Gannon this week from 9 to noon. I don't know what day. I doubt it'll be Monday, because Jesse's already, this is a lot of work for Jesse on a Sunday, so I don't know that he and Tausch and Wilde can coordinate who's going to send that request to the Packers. But it'll be fun to hear you guys with Jonathan Gannon, and then after he speaks with you, I'm sure he'll then feel confident enough to speak to the overall media. So thanks so much, Jason.
We'll get him warmed up, yes. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Take care. Be good.
There he is, Jason Wilde, at Jason J. Wilde on X. And how about Forest beating Tottenham? The Spurs down 3-0. Spurs are going to be in that relegation zone.
Really?
One of the big, that's the biggest programs, right? If you're looking at who the big six are, Tottenham's one of them. And as we sit right now,
they still have 2 months left, right? Yeah.
They are 1 point ahead of West Ham, who's going to lose to be in the relegation zone.
And they still have 2 months left, so 2 months is 8 games.
No, but the way they're playing, the Spurs right now, they've already changed coaches once, and this new coach has been not very successful. They just tied Liverpool, but before that, they'd lost. I don't know when the last time they won I still don't know.
They used to suck back in the day when I was young, and then they got good, and they got Gareth Bale.
No, but they have not won a game in the Premier League
in 2026.
In 2026.
Times was rough out there in Tottenham.
That is, Crystal Palace they beat on December 28th. So interesting stuff going on in football. But this is no longer the football show. It is Sunday Karma, and that'll continue on ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Heck yeah! It's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Stroh for Robert Hack Diamonds. 3 locations in the Milwaukee area, 2 in Brookfield, 1 in Greenfield, where I went, to buy my fiance's dream engagement ring. You don't become Wisconsin's most trusted and respected name in diamonds on accident. Robert Hack Diamonds has been in Wisconsin for almost 80 years, serving the Milwaukee area and all of the state with top-notch customer service and all the help you need along the way. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew I got the girl right, but I wanted to get the diamond right too, and Robert Hack Diamonds made sure that happened. If you're looking to take that next step just like I did, there's only one place to go. That's Robert Hack Diamonds, 3 locations in the Milwaukee area. Tell them I sent you, and whether you like me have no idea what you're doing or have a really good idea of what you're doing, go to the best in Wisconsin. You want that day to be special, and you want that ring to be special. They created my fiance's dream engagement ring, and they can create yours too. Visit them online, roberthackdiamonds.com, or in Greenfield or Brookfield. And just like me, you'll leave that store saying, heck yeah, because of Robert Hack Diamonds.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years,
Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hour number 2, 50 minutes to go. Carbless talking text line 800-990-3776. Handcrafted premium cocktails with Carbless. Carbless tastes so much better than the alternatives. I was in a place where I had to drink the alternatives. Carbless is great. Less is more with Carbless. Delicious stuff, yes?
Speaking of Carbless, so I have a bachelor party coming up. But maybe you don't. I have a bachelor party coming up in May. And
for who?
For me.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's my bachelor party. And there's a couple people who said they could come, but then they had other things come up. And so I told them, well, what you have to do is you have to buy us a case of Carbless.
Yeah.
And so that is basically what we're taking down there with us is some Carbless.
And when you say us, am I included in the us, or did I not get the invite on that one?
No, you didn't get the invite.
Okay, I didn't get the invite.
My friends are too rowdy for you, and I don't want them to say or do anything that may make you judge me or think differently of the company that I keep. I can't control what other grown men do, so I rather not mix, work with those guys.
Yeah. So is any Good Karma teammates part of that?
No.
No, it's totally separate.
I try
separate.
Craig,
the
I
whole
try to
eating where you poop and sleeping where you work and eating where I
you
get
know what
it.
I'm saying? Because I could be different sometimes with my personal life. I mean, even though I'm pretty raw and authentic, but I'm just I just like to just in case. I don't want somebody coming back. I work with Alex Strofe. Alex Strofe, he loves tea. He loves to sing like a bird, and I don't. Want Alex Strofe coming here. I saw Kyle do this. I heard him say this over the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm not judging. Brian he says, wasting Wildy's time with an on-air production meeting. Good job, Craig. I would say that. I don't attend many production meetings, so that was my opportunity to make sure we get Jonathan Gannon requested. I was doing that for the fans. I was trying to help because I think those who listen to Wildy and Tausch would love to hear Tausch and Wildy interview Jonathan Gannon.
What's the worst thing they can say is no?
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, Brian's right. Why that should be an off-air production meeting. Why is that happening on the air? Why are we wasting Wildy's time with that on the air?
Don't validate Brian.
Oh, why not? He seemed like he had a good point.
No, Brian's trying to be negative.
I thought he made a good point. But regardless, that's what it's already done at this point.
I appreciate him listening, but he sounds like a little bit of a hater.
Oh, come on now.
Nah. You got to go. This is a different time we live in now. You got to go back. You got to go back at people.
I think he made a good point. Thank you for texting, Brian, and you can join us on the Carbless Talking text line at 800-990-3776 at 800-990-3776. Carbless handcrafted premium cocktails where less is more. So, Kyle, with the Badgers out, are you out on the tournament? Or really?
I'll get back in. I'm devastated.
I get it on Friday, and the rest of the day, Thursday and Friday, but it's level of basketball is so good, and I hate to say it because of High Point. There aren't a lot of these Cinderellas there aren't any Cinderellas in my opinion that are left in the tournament. Zero.
Texas is Cinderella.
No, they're not.
They're 11 seeds.
No, they're not. Just because they underperformed in the regular season doesn't mean you're a Cinderella. Texas?
Tejas is Cinderella.
Texas is a Cinderella.
They're 11 seed, yeah.
What do you think their payroll is?
Well, it's Tejas, so I believe their payroll is probably $20 million.
Let's see. Yeah,
at least.
That's what I'm saying. Texas basketball payroll 20.
If you're not good during the regular season or consistent during the regular season, that could be a problem. A little bit of a problem. So I
know, but they played in the SEC. That's not a Cinderella.
Okay, all right. So Vandy wouldn't have been a Cinderella even because of their seed. Well, Nebraska's a Cinderella, right? Because or maybe she's the ugly duckling. She was the ugly duckling forever, where they didn't even win the NCAA tournament until a couple days ago. So maybe Nebraska's a Cinderella story, even though they were very good.
I'll give you that on Nebraska. I mean, it's Nebraska's first ever NCAA tournament win. Yeah, I'll give you Nebraska. But again, Big Ten school. But to me, that's not the point. The point is these games are really good. And the games that usually you'd have in the second weekend, like all the games today, like St. John's versus Kansas.
Yeah, that's a good
If
one.
you told me that was a Sweet 16 game, I would say, yeah. Kentucky, Iowa State. You tell me that's a Sweet 16 game, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Miami, Purdue, that game already tipped off. If you told me that was a Sweet 16 game, Miami, I watched them beat Missouri. Miami is legit. And,
I thought Missouri was going to win that game.
And we know Purdue can't play any defense. So Miami, Purdue, you told me that was a Sweet 16 game, I'm here for it. Iowa, Florida, Tennessee, Virginia, UCLA, UConn, Texas Tech, Alabama. All those games are today.
Yeah.
This tournament's awesome.
No, it is awesome, but it's disappointing. Even talking about Nebraska and how Fred Hoiberg is. This is only his second year there.
Is it?
I don't think he's been there that long. For him to come in, and I don't know how long he's been there, but for him to come in and be able to turn the program around to a point where they're he's been there he's been there since 2019.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, it took him a long time to turn the program
that's what I'm saying.
around.
Like, I think, Kyle, because of Indiana, now everyone just thinks like, like it's just so easy. Just come in and reverse 7 decades of mediocrity. Like, these things are rare. And I think the idea of underappreciating Greg Gard and what the Badgers are doing is just do it at your own risk.
No, I mean, I guess for me, I think it's solvable. I think Greg Gard has a really good formula of bringing in these guards who can be stars for you. And if they find a way to keep Blackwell and Winter again, I think there's just certain areas they have to get better at. There's one thing, they don't have a dog defensively, right? Like, I don't think we'll ever be great athletes, but they don't have a dog defensively. They need to find a dog defensively, and they got to find a three-point shooter. One thing that Bo Ryan always had, he had a shooter. There was a shooter on the court somewhere. I'm not saying it's got to be the kid from number 99, Johnston. It ain't got to be him, but I'm just saying give me another guy that's similar to a Ben Bruss where I know catch and shoot. Whenever he touches it and the three goes up, I'm hoping it goes in, and I believe it's going to go in. That's what I want, that confidence.
The roster building has been really good. So it's tough to argue with the roster building of these last 2 years. It's tough to argue with the quality or even the pure visual like this isn't the Badgers winning 60-56, right? Like the style of play has been such a visually appealing team. The free throw shooting, the execution. Like, this has been a team that is really, really fun to watch.
Cool. Fun to watch, but the team that wasn't scoring 90 points in a game was making it to the Sweet 16, popping to the Elite 8, upsetting one seeds. Like, come on, Greg.
I know. We just lost to another 12 seed. You could argue that, right? But Shaka Smart is a great coach, and Shaka Smart has a team that didn't make the tournament this year.
That's his own fault.
That stuff's going to happen. But there's a lot of teams out there that are all Indiana who got that gift against Wisconsin. Like, there's a lot of teams who have a lot of resources and a lot of things. So I'm saying let's also appreciate what Wisconsin did this year. Let's not just focus on what they didn't do.
No, I appreciate what they did this year. I do. But it all is negated simply because of the fact that they could not get out of the first round.
It's not all negated.
No, it is. But what? So why should I be excited about next year? Because here's the problem I have, Craig.
Because if you are good enough to put your team into a top 5 or 6 or 7 seed, even where Iowa is this year, and I know that's a new coach, so that's impressive that they're there, a 9 seed already. Like, then you're in the dance, and in the dance is where you want to be. And the Badgers were a double-digit favorite, and that the fact that they lost sucks. But they built the team right. They had the right group. They just didn't execute in one game. They didn't execute in one game.
How can you say that when they didn't execute in one game in the first round of the NCAA tournament as a 5 seed, losing to a 12? I'm just saying. The way I look at it next year is I thought that next year was this year. So when I say that is I thought if you're able to keep John Blackwell, Nolan Winter, you're able to bring in some recruit, and they did it. And they did it. And then during the season, it seemed like the team finally turned the corner. They upset all these top 25 teams, top 10 teams, winning games on the road against top 10 teams. And so I'm thinking, all right, well, what we thought could potentially happen, he did it. He was able to keep his great players and add in additional players that can get them over the hump. And guess what?
Yes.
It didn't. It didn't work when it mattered. So that's what I'm saying when I'm looking at next year. It's like, okay, if you bring back John Blackwell and Nolan Winter, did they learn anything? And Nolan was hurt. But did they learn anything from their bumps from BYU?
The nature of the tournament and a one-and-done situation like that, is such that, that can happen. And it happened to Virginia, and then they won the national championship the next year.
Different time in college basketball. That coach ran away from NIL.
I know, but Greg Gard hasn't been defeated by NIL. Greg Gard has thrived in NIL.
No, okay. Yes, thrive during the regular season. The college basketball is not about being a regular season team. And no sport is. I mean, in certain sports, order like the playoffs and NFL, it's more limited spots. But in college basketball, the Badgers can be an Iowa in this season and end up getting an 8-9 seed and still make the tournament, right? The Badgers were a 5 seed, so they were a lock to be in the NCAA tournament. And so, to me, it's not just about what you do in the regular season. It is about what can we do in postseason play. And we were so close to being national champions and so close to having these opportunities to make it to Elite Eight. So now, instead of us knocking on the door of an Elite Eight and knocking on the door of a Final Four, we are not. We're trying to knock on the door of a Sweet 16.
Come on, no. That is so unfair.
How is that unfair?
Because
Craig?
the fact that this team was in the Final Four back-to-back years was somewhat of a fluke based on how things fell.
They have been developing and building towards something.
It was somewhat of a fluke, and this team is not supported financially anywhere near the teams that are consistently in the Final Four, and teams like Arizona.
So wait, and
by the way,
High Point's not financially supported like we are. And they found a way to win the first round.
If you take High Point and what they've done the last 7 years, you'll trade that for what Wisconsin's done the last 7 years? No. That's what I'm saying. You could arbitrarily pick one game, but where Greg Gard has this program is in a great spot. It happens they've had some ill-timed losses, and that needs to get figured out. And I'm not saying
he had 8 years to figure it out.
Right, but how many of those 8 years has he been into the tournament? 7 of them?
No, I think they missed the tournament. For sure missed the tournament one time. Then you had because they were NIT, and then you had the COVID year as well. So so that doesn't really count.
So again, it sucks. You can't lose to 12 seeds, especially in this day and age, and you can't lose to double-digit seeds back to back. And no one's happy about that. But it doesn't mean this program isn't in a great spot. No, the program's in a great spot. I'm saying, this is how you end up putting a program down for 20 years. When you take all the good habits and all the good things that are happening and you ignore them because of one loss or 2 losses. And I get it. And last year's loss may have nothing to do with this year's loss, right? Last year's team was a very different team than this year's team. So I'm saying you need to try to figure out why Thursday happened, but you can't overreact to that, and you can't forget about everything that happened the rest of the season as a result of that game. We'll have more as we roll on. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is ready to slip someone into a green jacket. The next tournament of the season is here, and there's $1,000 in cash prizes. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, inviting you to a two-man scramble at Georgia Golf Club, all played on Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's spacious, state-of-the-art simulators. Sign up now at wisconsindoorgolfcenter.com. It's just $120 per team, and all team must compete their round by March 31st. Who's walking away with the cash, and who's earning that green jacket?
At Citizens Bank, we believe banking is more than transactions. It's about being recognized and remembered. It's feeling like you're understood and supported along the way. It's the small stuff that says, we know you. Because when your bank gets you, banking just feels better. Citizens Bank. Bank where you belong. Learn more at citizensbankwi.bank/belong. Citizens Bank is member FDIC.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free in 24 months with no payments or interest plus $500 off. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Make your fitness goals last with Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country with 5 locations in the Milwaukee area. At Johnson Fitness and Wellness, you'll find top-rated treadmills, strength equipment, ellipticals, bikes, and more, all guided by certified fitness experts who match the right equipment to your goals, space, and budget. And with white glove delivery and installation, plus flexible financing options, you can build your home gym with confidence. Visit one of their stores today or online at johnsonfitness.com.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at 3 Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit 3 Pillars with living longer.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Give me your biggest takeaway. 1.
Oh, number 1?
Yes.
With the bullet, it's not even close. Micah Parsons is the guy we thought he is.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Oh, Kyle, you know what I did after the Badgers lost on Thursday? You know,
what is that?
You need a little therapy. You need to get the mind right.
What do you do?
Get some shots off. Go shoot some jumpers. Get on the basketball court. It is the best way to clear your head. And the reason I can do it is because I worked with Precision Sports. They are the best. I've been telling you about them. And if you want a hoop, you want a court, you want it at your house, this is who you work with. They work with your space. They figure out the driveway. They figure out if you want to paint lines or not. They figure out exactly what you want. They'll do indoor courts. They'll do outdoor courts. They'll work with any of the big brands you want, the Mega Slam, the Ironclad, the Dominator hoop systems. They'll do it right? If you're doing something at the house, maybe your husband or wife might not be fully aligned that they want this hoop on the driveway or wherever. They're going to make it right. You want it portable. You want it permanent. You want it indoors. You want it outdoors. They will do it all. And the great thing is, you can get a free quote from them. Go to PrecisionSportsOnline.com. That is PrecisionSportsOnline.com. communication through the process. They mapped out what it was going to look like. I wanted the corner three to be a good corner three. Like, we got it all figured out. And if you love hoops, work with Precision Sports at precisionsportsonline.com, and your jumper will be as good as mine in no time. So, Kyle, we have been talking a lot about the Badgers. By the way, on the Carbless Talking text line, K-Walk says, at this point in the tourney, I think it's either Michigan or Duke's tournament to lose. Michigan plays the way they did yesterday. No one will beat them. I think it's hard not to include Arizona in that mix. And I think Arkansas is going to give Arizona a game the same way. Again, I think Wisconsin would have given Arizona a game the same way Wisconsin gave Michigan a game, in those last two games.
I agree.
But I think those are the three teams, right?
I like Iowa State a little bit, but they lost one of their good
I was going to say, Iowa State with the injury, I think they're going to have a tough one today.
Houston's another one to look out for.
That's the one I dropped at Potawatomi. That's the only one. Yeah. So I did Houston to go to the Final Four.
Oh.
Like, I picked a bunch of first-round games when I was there, doing stuff. But the one, kind of future-y type bet I made, and they'd have to beat Florida to get there. But that's what I picked. Kentucky's going to be tough, but I think Iowa State gets through Kentucky today.
Yeah. I mean, Kentucky is very lucky. Kentucky is lucky with how they were able to advance. But, hey, I mean, you don't get a timeout call. It is what it is. You never know what would happen if you did get a timeout call. It could have hit a game winner anyways.
Yeah. And if you look around the conferences, I think today will be a big shakeout of what conferences are having the big tourneys, right, between the Big 12 and the Big 10. I think today will be a big shakeout of that. Right now you have Purdue playing from the Big 10. You have later on Iowa, with that game, and a bunch of Big 12 teams in action. But I think it's going to be potentially safe to say that the Big 12 was the deepest conference in America this year, which is what the thought was throughout the year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless we see Iowa State, Houston and Arizona, all go down earlier than expected, I think that is going to be, what we thought all year, which was that it was the best conference in America, and the Big 10 was probably the second best.
Every time I see Milan on the screen, I always ask Ben Brust, I said, why didn't we offer him a scholarship? From Iowa State, number 22. He's from Milwaukee.
Iowa State has always recruited Wisconsin very well.
Before they even got this current coach, who's a Wisconsin guy, they always recruited Wisconsin very well.
Yep. I'm just looking on the roster. Jamarian Bateman.
Oh, wow. He's there?
He's at Iowa State from Milwaukee.
So that means there must be three of them on the roster then right now.
Xavier Mitchell, freshman from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Does it have four?
Yep. Anthony Rise, freshman, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then your guy from Pewaukee.
That's crazy.
Four Wisconsinites on a team that is a 2 seed in action today at 1:45 against Kentucky. So I'm saying the tournament's so great. I get it when your team loses. And, if you're a Marquette fan, I don't know if it, I think for some Marquette fans, seeing Wisconsin lose makes them feel better.
Felt good. Misery loves company, because I was sure cheering for High Point yesterday. I was cheering for them. I was sad when they lost. I said, "Oh gosh."
Wait, you were, because you wanted it to be like, "Hey, if they beat us, I want them to validate that."
It validates my feelings that we're not the only losers.
But I was at the Marriott West in Middleton yesterday. I was telling that there were some high school kids who were. By the way, there was the state varsity chess tournament was going on.
Oh, that's one.
At the Marriott in Middleton. There were a bunch of chess players there. And chess is legit these days, man.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't know either. I didn't know there was varsity chess and all that.
I prefer the athletic sports, but the mental sports, I just want my child to be good at something.
Wait, have you not seen the boxing chess?
Is that when something happens and you get hit or something like that? Was this like last year they had adults doing something with boxing chess?
No, it's a thing. It's like an international sport.
But it includes some physical aspect, correct?
Yeah. Yes. So basically, I think you do a 2-minute round. Is that how long? Or boxing 3 minutes?
Boxing's 3 minute round.
Okay, so I don't know if you do 2 minutes or 3 minutes in boxing chess. but you do a round of boxing, and then you
go back, sit down,
and then you sit down and do chess. And like either you win if either you knock the person out or you beat them in chess. And it's the ultimate like where your brain has to be able to stay with it while you're getting physically beat.
My brain can't stay with it just playing chess by itself. I don't know how to play chess, but definitely getting beat and tired. No, when I get tired, I lose a little bit of my mental capabilities.
So that's the whole point, right? Right. So if your kid says, "Hey, Daddy, I want to be a professional boxing chess player," will you support them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That means that they like the physical aspect and the mental. I would love to have athletic nerds. I would. They're going to take after their mama, but I would love to have athletic nerds.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this should be a great day of hoops. Purdue is out to a 21-14 lead early against Miami, just less than halfway through the first half of the second round Western Regional game there for Purdue, as a bunch of Big Ten teams there to represent Michigan and Michigan State on to and Illinois, right? I mean, three teams already into the there's not a fourth, is there? Big Ten teams that have already advanced. That's not possible.
Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois.
Yeah. And now, and then you got Purdue and Iowa with a chance.
Nebraska. And
Nebraska. That's what I thought. I thought there was a fourth. So four of the 8 teams that advanced to the Sweet 16 yesterday were Big Ten teams.
Could have been 5. But
which,
one
again,
of us choked.
I will still argue that does speak to how good this conference was this year.
What? It doesn't matter. I don't know what. Craig, we lost. It doesn't matter how good the conference was if all of that going through that gauntlet of the conference didn't pay off. You literally, all you're doing when you are Wisconsin, the regular season should be preparing you for the NCAA tournament. That's what it should be doing. But they were never going to win. They're not good defensively. They're not good enough defensively. But it should have been preparing you to make some type of run.
Being 14-6 or 15-5, depending on how they score that Indiana game in the regular season.
It doesn't matter when you get upset in the first round to a team like High Point that would finish in the bottom half of the Big
Ten. So you're
Ten.
saying they might as well have been 5-15?
Well, I want to be in a tournament.
Right. So then don't say it doesn't matter.
I would prefer to be an 11 seed. No, I would prefer what happened. We were 8-9 when we played North Carolina, where it's like, okay, let's see what happens, versus this. I would prefer that than this.
I'm saying, obviously, when you're playing a 12 seed, it's a jumble of what quality team and what style of team you can get, because it often is going to be a mid-major who is a really high-quality team that you don't know exactly what they are. And again, every other 5 seed figure out a way to get it done against the 12. So I'm not trying to justify it for Wisconsin, and it doesn't make it any less sad. All right, we're going to talk a little Brewers baseball because the Brewers get it going this week. Thursday is opening day if you are not in that Brewers mindset. And by the way, that's on the Badgers, right? Their job, just get us to Brewer season, because the Bucks did not get us to Brewer season this year, right? The Bucks were the first ones to fail, as the Bucks, even if the Bucks go undefeated in our last 12 games, are not going to make a play in. So the Bucks didn't get it done to extend to
it's not mathematically over yet.
No, but the Hornets are going to win 42 games. All the teams ahead of them are going to win 42 games. The best the Bucks could go is 41-41.
All right, we're on lottery watch, baby. Been a while.
So the Bucks did not extend the season into Brewers season, and the Marquette and the Badgers did not extend into Brewers season. We only have 4 days until it gets going at American Family Field. We'll talk about that coming up next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270.
This cross?
$90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? That's why I love my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. You can check them out in person at the State Fair Park Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, and even ask questions. Good Health Saunas has been doing this for more than 20 years, and they back it all with a true lifetime warranty, which was huge for me. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, find Good Health Saunas at State Fair Park, March 20th through the 29th.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall. Home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination, 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall with 24 beers on tap, over 50 HD TVs, and of course, game day specials. It's the perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is the downtown home to basketball this March.
Your brand doesn't need more square footage.
It needs more wow.
When you work with Captivate Exhibits, trade show booths become magnets. Lobbies become living stories. Break rooms become culture builders.
Captivate creates experiences people don't just see, they feel.
For more than 30 years, their award-winning team has transformed big ideas into bold brand moments that command attention and drive results.
Stop blending in.
Start captivating.
Visit CaptivateExhibits.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, pepperoni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian,
Screaming Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
Whether it's breaking Packers news, breaking Bucks news, or breaking Brewers news, we are Milwaukee's place for the biggest sports stories right when they happen on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
So, Kyle, the Milwaukee Brewers are not favored to win the National League Central this year. They were not favored to win the National League Central last year. They were not favored to win the National League Central the year before. How are you feeling about your Brewers going into the year?
Feeling great. Well, hear from them, Mel.
Sixth best odds to win the National League, by the way, just real quick. I just want to tell you that. And sixth best odds, though, to have the best record in the National League for a team that had the best record in all of Major League Baseball last year. And we mentioned the division. I just want to give you that real quick. Yeah. A real quick look at the division. Cardinals 30-1, Pirates 6-1, Reds plus 450, which is 4.5, Brewers plus 260, Cubs plus 120. So Brewers clearly in that 2 spot. And Thursday they open the season, and they will be managed by Pat Murphy. They will be sending to the mound for opening day
The Miz.
And what do those two guys have in common?
We can hear from them on Friday at the Analysis Live.
Not hear from them. You can see them.
That's true.
You can be there at the Analysis Live. That is this Friday. So the Miz is opening the season on Thursday. Pat Murphy is opening the season on Thursday. And then you can actually go and see them in person with Thanasis Antetokounmpo at the Analysis Live on Friday. And right now, you can get buy one, get one free tickets. That's right. TALiveshow.com is where you get tickets, and enter code ESPN WIBOGO. That's ESPN WIBOGO when you get to checkout. And you can get buy one, get one free tickets at the Analysis Live. Ric Flair will be there. Thanasis will be there. And we know there are always surprise guests. Giannis surprised us all last year with his appearance. Robin Lopez surprised Brooke last year. Stephen A. Smith has been a surprise at the Analysis Live. So this Friday, it is the way to kick off spring. It is when all of Wisconsin sports seem to get together. And Pat Murphy, The Miz, Thanasis, Ric Flair, you at the Riverside Theater. New location should be absolutely awesome.
I can't wait to hear from Pat Murphy and The Miz off his first career opening day start.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah, this is like the franchise guy. We all loved him. Now we get to hear from him a day after. And Pat Murphy as well, to hear about the fight.
I'm like a nerd like for leadership and management. I just love hearing Pat Murphy talk. And I think he's going to get so much love from the crowd. So I'm excited to see that.
Are you a wrestling fan?
No.
Oh, the Ric Flair thing. Every time I watch the promo video online, I just smile. I smile because that is Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, styling and profiling the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And actually to be in the same building as him, especially at this age, to be able to see him and say that I got a chance to listen to Ric Flair talk, that's why I have to be there.
Yeah, that's going to be so cool. Friday night, TALiveshow.com is where you get your tickets. And if you want to get the buy one, get one free deal, it is ESPN WIBOGO to be a part of the Analysis Live. Our Palermo's picks are coming up next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All the antics.
We had the same situation when I played with Holmgren.
You okay?
I almost broke my chair.
Yeah, you almost fell out of your chair there.
All the action.
Micah Parsons is healthy, and if Tucker Kraft is healthy, the Packers are in that Super Bowl. I think that they would have run through the NFC. I think they beat Seattle.
I think that they are the NFC representative in that game.
The best of both worlds lives right here. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is ready to slip someone into a green jacket. The next tournament of the season's here, and there's $1,000 in cash prizes. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, inviting you to a two-man scramble at Georgia Golf Club, all played on Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's spacious, state-of-the-art simulators. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. It's just $120 per team, and all teams must compete their round by March 31st. Who's walking away with the cash, and who's earning that green jacket?
I'm Coach Greg Gard, and I've spent my career teaching young men the fundamentals of basketball: preparation, hard work, teamwork. But here's what else I've learned. Those fundamentals don't apply just to the court. They apply to life, and they apply to your finances. That's why I believe in Bank CMG. They're a community bank built on the same values, helping people prepare for the future, building wealth one smart decision at a time, and staying rooted right here in Wisconsin. Success doesn't happen by accident. It takes a game plan, it takes discipline, and it takes a partner who understands your goals. Whether you're saving for your family, buying a home, or planning for retirement, Bank CMG has your back. They're not just here to handle your money, they're here to help you grow it. Visit bankcmg.com or stop by your local branch. Let's get to work.
Bank CMG is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Well, March hoops are here, and it is one of the best times of the year to be watching sports. And right now, download the Prize Picks app. Use code WI. You get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code WI, and suddenly every dunk, every three, every big performance matters even more. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If your picks are right, you cash in. You can build lineups across basketball, hockey, baseball, college hoops, whatever you're watching. I like the flexibility too. With Flex Play, you can still get paid even if one pick misses. Want a bigger payout? Go Power Play. And with early payouts, if your player gets off to a hot start, you can cash out before the game ends. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into The Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2 right here on 94.5 ESPN.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
So, Kyle, let's talk about our picks, including some of those... Speaking of buy one, get one free at analysis, there's some buy one, get one free Palermo's opportunities out there right now, right?
Yeah, you got the BOGO Screaming Sicilian and Thin and Crispy BOGO at Metro Mark and Pick and Save until the 24th. I am going to get mine after work today.
Oh, that is a nice recommendation. How about with your bracket? I think I said it, like outside of... Let's go outside of Arizona, Michigan, and Duke. Who's the team, who's a team that you got in the Final Four? So those three to me are...
Houston.
Yep, that's me too.
Houston.
And so do you have those other three?
I have Houston, Duke, was it Iowa State?
Oh, okay.
And
Wisconsin.
No.
And then Arizona.
Yeah, must be that.
Yeah.
I had to look.
Yeah. Miami now has taken the lead over Purdue, 33-29. Here's the stat for Badgers fans. If you didn't hear enough stats that have driven you crazy, the Big Ten has now won 10 consecutive games in the NCAA tournament after Ohio State and Wisconsin lose. So that was 2 of the first 3 games of the tournament the Big Ten had lost. The Big Ten has now run off 11 straight wins in the men's tournament. Right now in the women's tournament, Maryland of the Big Ten is trailing North Carolina 42-33. But in the men's tourney, Purdue trying to be the 11th straight Big Ten team to win in the tourney. So, as I said, I'm already advancing the Big 12 to be the best team, but I don't think that's fair, right? I think the Big 10 still has an opportunity to show that, it is the best conference in the country.
I just don't see Michigan winning a national title, though.
Would you go Dodgers or the field right now?
For baseball?
No, for chess. Varsity chess.
No, that's just came out of nowhere.
I know. Well, we're in Palermo's picks time.
No, I'm going the field. They're not going to have a three-peat.
Yeah. I think I'd go the same just because, Toronto was right there, right?
They were slide home plate away.
Those games were so insanely good, insanely close. And so I think what we saw from the Dodgers throughout the regular season, they did not look particularly dominating. They looked absolutely dominating in the postseason until the World Series. But I'm with you. I think this year is going to be a great baseball season. I think the only negative I see of this baseball season is going to be the backdrop of the collective bargaining and is there going to be a lockout? Is there going to be a strike?
Would the lockout be 27 or 28?
Yeah, 27. Yeah. So will there not be a 2027 season or will there be missed games in 2027? That's the only thing because
they need a salary cap. It can be high, but this is unbelievable.
To me, baseball right now, when you take the teams Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, Mariners, Phillies, Blue Jays, Braves, Red Sox, Tigers, Cubs, Orioles, Astros, Brewers, Padres, all these teams are good. It's a great product to watch. It's so much faster. Brewers, can they win the division again this year? I think I'm gonna make it my way over to Potawatomi. It worked out last year. This team has just somehow done it year after year. And last year they had all the injuries at the beginning of the year, and they still pulled it out. I know third base is a question, but Caleb Durbin, it wasn't on this roster at this time last year, right? You know what I mean? So I have such a faith in this organization right now. What'd you say?
I said he was.
He wasn't on the roster?
Yes, he was. He was traded for...
I know, but Caleb Durbin was in the minor leagues. He didn't come up until May.
I thought he started the season in the majors. Did he not?
I was at his debut.
Oh, well, then I'm wrong then.
Yeah.
I thought he started the season in the majors, but maybe I guess he didn't.
You
were there. I wasn't.
If he did, he was was on the bench for a lot of games.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't get a call up until... I thought he started the season off in the major leagues. I guess I might be wrong. What a season that became.
Yeah,
then.
April 18th was his debut.
Well, then he did not. He did not
3 weeks into the year when he made his debut last year. So that's what I'm saying. And he was a valuable and probably the at bats you could count on most in the postseason last year. But
flip him.
But you got to trust this organization the same way I trust Gruber Law Office.
ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about $25